Welcome to the Deep Dive. Here, we take a topic, really unpack the key stuff, and, well, aim to give you a clear understanding without all the fluff.
That's the plan.
Today, we're diving into how to become a better communicator. This is relevant for everyone, but maybe especially if you're learning a new language.
Yeah.
And we're going to look at how a platform called HappyTalk.in might fit into that journey.
Right. So the mission today, essentially, is to pull out the core strategies for communicating better
Yeah.
and see how something like HappyTalk.in can actually help you put them into practice.
Exactly. Because these skills, these communication skills, they're just so fundamental, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. Work presentations, just chatting with friends, and definitely language learning, it crops up everywhere.
It really does.
And what's interesting, I think, is that good communication, really good communication, it goes way beyond just the words themselves.
Totally. It's about understanding, where the other person is coming from, showing empathy, making that connection, especially when you're dealing with a whole new language and culture. It's almost like learning to think in a new way, feel in a new way.
Yeah, it unlocks different perspectives, new relationships, opportunities, all that stuff.
But there's often a big hurdle, right? Particularly for language learners.
Definitely. That fear of actually speaking, it's huge. You could study for years, know all the grammar, have tons of vocabulary.
Right.
But then the idea of a real live conversation, it can be, well, terrifying for some people.
Oh, I can relate to that. It's like your brain just freezes up.
Yeah.
So this is maybe where something like HappyTalk.in could offer, a practical way forward.
It seems so. HappyTalk.in, it's basically an online platform. Connects language learners with native speakers or even other learners.
Okay.
And they can practice one-on-one. The key thing, I think, is the environment. It's meant to be low pressure, supportive.
Right.
So you can practice speaking without that feeling of, oh gosh, I have to be perfect right now.
That sounds incredibly useful because that pressure is a killer.
It really is.
And the flexibility, too, being able to hop on for practice during a lunch break or maybe late at night when things are quiet.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
It removes a huge barrier for people with busy lives,
Precisely. And it's not just about connecting people. HappyTalk.in seems to have specific features built in to actually help build those communication skills.
Like what?
Well, a big one is booking sessions. You can book time with language partners or maybe even tutors.
Ah, okay.
Which means you get that crucial real-world practice. You're applying what you learned.
Right. It's not just theory anymore. You're actually doing it in a real conversation. I also saw something about guided conversation prompts. How do they work?
Yeah, those are quite neat. They're tailored to different skill levels.
Okay.
So say you're a beginner in Spanish, the prompts might be about hobbies, your daily routine, that kind of thing.
Simple stuff to get started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're more advanced in, say, Mandarin, you might get prompts about current events or more complex topics.
That makes sense.
It tackles that problem of, what do I say next? Because you're not.
Yeah, that awkward silence problem. So it
Yeah.
gives you a starting point, helps keep the flow going.
Right.
And I imagine just having these real-time back-and-forth chats would naturally help you get better at active listening, too.
Absolutely. Because, communication isn't just about talking. It's maybe even more about listening and understanding.
Sure.
People like Julian Treasure, communication experts, they often say listening is the absolute foundation of a good conversation. So by talking with real people on HappyTalk.in, hearing their stories, their perspectives, you're automatically practicing listening. You have to respond properly.
It forces you to engage. Yeah, definitely a two-way street. Okay, so let's dig into some practical tips. Things you, the listener, can actually do, maybe using a platform like HappyTalk.in.
Good idea.
One thing that jumped out at me was embracing mistakes. That seems key.
Oh, it's fundamental. Absolutely critical. It's so easy to get obsessed with perfection, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying something new, like speaking a language. But think about learning anything. You stumble. You have to.
You do.
The trick is to see those stumbles not as failures, but as, like, data points, learning opportunities.
Yeah. Right. Focus on connecting, not on perfect grammar.
Exactly. Connection over correction, you could say.
I remember when I was trying to learn Italian. Oh, man, I was so worried about getting every verb ending just right that I'd just clam up. It was only when I sort of gave myself permission to just try and get the meaning across, even imperfectly, that I actually started having real conversations. And people understood. Mostly.
That's a perfect example. It's about getting the message across. Another technique, and this one's really practical for platforms like HappyTalk.in, is shadowing.
Shadowing. Tell us about that.
Okay, so basically you listen to a native speaker, could be your partner on HappyTalk.in, could be an audio clip,
Right.
and you immediately repeat what they say right after them. Try to copy their pronunciation, their rhythm, their intonation, everything.
Mimicking them closely.
Exactly. It helps train your mouth muscles for new sounds, builds your confidence, gets you used to the flow of the language.
That sounds like a great exercise, especially for accent and rhythm. Okay, another tip I saw was about learning some high-impact phrases.
Ah, yes, those are useful.
Little phrases that do a lot of heavy lifting in a conversation, right? Even if your vocabulary is still limited.
Precisely. Things like, could you clarify that? Or could you say that again, please? Or maybe, I see your point, but, or, that's interesting.
Exactly. They help you manage the conversation, show you're listening, buy you time to think.
Keep things flowing.
Yeah, they make you sound more polished and engaged. And you can consciously try using these in your HappyTalk.chats.
Good idea, like conversational tools.
Yeah.
Now, what about tracking progress? I saw a mention of recording your sessions.
Yes. If the platform allows it, that can be incredibly insightful.
How so?
Well, listening back gives you a more objective view. You hear yourself as others hear you.
You can spot strengths you didn't realize you had, but also, maybe more importantly, areas for improvement. Pronunciation quirks, maybe repeating the same filler word.
Stuff you're not conscious of in the moment.
Exactly. It's like getting personalized feedback without any pressure. I remember doing this when I was practicing Hindi. It was eye-opening, or maybe ear-opening.
I bet. It's a powerful self-assessment tool. Okay, another practical one, setting specific goals for each session.
Yes, this adds focus. Don't just go in hoping to chat.
Right.
Before you start your HappyTalk.in call, decide, okay, this session I'm going to try and use 3 new words I learned.
Or maybe I'm going to focus on asking open-ended questions.
Or really work on that tricky sound or whatever it is. Having a clear mini goal makes each practice session way more productive.
That makes a lot of sense, gives it direction. And the last tip I noted was practicing storytelling.
Ooh, I like that one.
Seems like a good way to develop fluency on the platform.
It really is. Storytelling forces you to organize your thoughts, string sentences together, use descriptive language.
And connect with your partner more personally.
Definitely. Even just sharing a short anecdote about your day or a funny thing that happened, it builds rapport and gives you practice with more extended speech.
Good point. Okay, let's maybe zoom out a little. Think about the wider impact of learning the language on just general communication skills. It's not just about ordering coffee abroad, is it?
Oh, not at all. There are so many side benefits. Confidence is a big one.
Yeah, I can see that.
And cultural awareness, obviously. But it often sharpens your communication skills in your native language, too, which is fascinating.
Really? How does that work?
Well, take my experience learning Korean. Korean relies a lot on context, tone of voice, nonverbal cues.
Ah, okay. Less direct sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Paying attention to those subtleties in Korean actually made me realize how much I was missing in English conversations. It
Interesting.
made me a better listener, more attuned to tone and underlying meaning, more empathetic maybe.
So learning the nuances of one language highlighted nuances in your own.
Exactly. Again, practice on platforms like HappyTalk.in, where you're interacting with real people, really helps build that sensitivity.
That's a great point. It fine-tunes your social radar almost. I felt something similar learning Portuguese.
Yeah.
It really hit home how much culture influences communication style. Things like humor, directness, politeness markers.
Yeah.
They vary so much.
Absolutely. Big time.
And talking with native speakers on a platform like HappyTalk.in, you get those insights directly. It's not just reading about it in a book.
Right. It's like a practical crash course in global connection. You see the culture in action through the language.
It really underscores that HappyTalk.in isn't just about vocabulary drills. It's about building actual connections with people, diverse people.
Each conversation is unique, a chance to learn something new about the language, the culture, the person.
It's a human experience facilitated by technology.
Well put.
Okay, so to wrap this deep dive up, let's give you, our listener, a concrete challenge. Something you can do right now.
Sounds good. What's the challenge?
How about this? Go check out HappyTalk.in, maybe sign up for a free trial if they offer one,
Okay.
and book just 2 short conversations, say 15 minutes each, with a language partner.
Nice and manageable.
And in those chats, focus on 2 things. Try to use one new phrase you learned, maybe one of those high-impact ones we mentioned.
Uh-huh.
And really practice active listening. Focus on understanding your partner.
I like that. Simple, actionable.
And one more suggestion. If you can, try recording one of those sessions.
Yes.
Then listen back, just for a few minutes. Identify one thing you did well, give yourself credit,
Important.
and one specific thing you want to work on next time. It's a great way to track your own progress.
Excellent advice. That reflection step is so powerful for cementing the learning.
So I guess the final thought here is communication. It's a skill. Like any skill, it gets better with practice.
One conversation at a time.
Exactly. And platforms like HappyTalk.in just make that practice more accessible, maybe more fun, whether you're learning a whole new language or just want to communicate better day to day.
Keep practicing, keep engaging, keep learning from every chat.
Couldn't agree more.